Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, The Liquid Lunch Project.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. I am Matthew R. Meehan alongside my partner, the professor, Luigi Rosabianco. What's on tap today, Lou?
Matthew, today's going to be a good one. Live from Las Vegas, we've got the CEO and founder of Infinite Profit. This is a strategic growth consultant, Marcia Riner, who's going to show us how to boost our profit. And that's her tagline. So, Marcia, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, guys. Yay!
Oh, it's great having you. So imagine there's a small business listening in, and you've got this wonderful 30-day profit booster when you start working with clients. Walk us through what this 30-day profit booster is like and what it means for the client, and we'll take it from there.
Cool. Well, again, thanks for having me. This is a great topic, and it's always a fun opportunity to start this with my clients. Because, they're stressing over, how do I pay for you, Marcia, right? Cash flow is always kind of one of those stickers that companies aren't always managing to the best. So I like to start off any of my engagements with this 30-day profit booster. And what it really is it's looking at opportunities to get the cash and shake it up. Because many business owners, as you know, are chasing customers and putting out fires. They're never looking inside their company. And they're often letting the accounting team run the finances, so they don't really have a strong grasp on what's going on. So we take a quick deep dive, and it only takes 30 days. Now, it could take 30 days plus to execute on it, but 30 days to really understand and get this momentum. So we're going to look at the cost of goods sold. This is the adjustable costs that come in for your business to make your widget, whatever the widget is. And by the way, you don't have to sell a hard product to make this work. It works better with a hard product. But if you have a soft product like information or advisory services or time, like us, professional services, it can still work. So then we're looking at it and we're looking to make little incremental changes. And if we stack these incremental changes, it gives us big results. So the first step we're going to look at is how can we cut your costs of goods sold? And I have many ideas and directions we can take on it. Then the second step I'm going to do is come in and look at your fixed costs. And your fixed costs are those things that whether you sell a widget or not, you're going to have those costs. That's like your rent and many of your staff, some of your expenses that you have. And we're going to look at them. We're going to go in and dig into them and see again if we can cut those costs by just a little incremental change. And these make big effects on your bottom line and give you that money to make things happen and opportunities to happen. Now, the third lever we're going to pull on this in this 30 days is we're going to look at your price you're charging for your widget or your service. And we're going to look at increasing it just by an incremental change, just a small change. And those three things stacked have a huge result. And if we can do it properly, I can get you probably a 45% boost in profitability very quickly. And it doesn't take a lot of work except for looking at what you already do. No new customers, no new marketing. It's just looking at what you already have.
So, Marcia, every time we speak to one of our clients, right, it's like it never fails. Nobody ever believes that they can increase their prices, right? So how do you I'm interested to see how you deal with that, because I hear it probably 8 out of every 10 times. I can't increase my prices. I can't. But
you
then
can.
They do. But then they do, and they never want to stop.
Right. So think about this, guys. Come on. What's the words out there today? The big R word, recession. The big I word, inflation. How much does it cost? Your grocery store has absolutely no problem charging you $8 for a dozen eggs. Now you want to eat eggs, so you buy the eggs, right? So most of our clients know that things get more expensive. Now, if you jack it up 50% like the price of eggs, people are going to get uncomfortable. But if you make little incremental changes and you do it once a year or twice a year, they understand that inflation is costing you more money to make your widget, product, service, so that they know that they have to expect to pay more. And if you are providing the value that it is, right? You're providing something to these customers, then they need what you're offering, and price is no issue.
No, I love that. Even with my rental properties, I try to increase the prices every single year. It's normal.
Yeah.
And
Everybody else does it. Why will we as business owners? Because we feel like, oh, I'm going to lose customers. But if you increase price by 5% and you lose one customer, one out of all that you have, and our statistics show that not very many people leave. But if you lose one customer, the chances are you're still more profitable.
and you have less of a headache.
Probably. That was the one you wanted to fire anyways.
So you go in there, so you're looking at the cost of goods sold, the fixed costs, you're looking to increase prices. What are some things that people can actually look at right now as an action step? Like, what's one thing that you see consistently that can be cut? Usually
Well,
across the
besides
board?
adjusting the prices, right?
Yeah.
I think the things that we forget about is that we have vendors in our business, right? Whether that vendor is somebody that provides us a tool or a piece for what we're making, or whether it's our internet carrier or our rental agreement. Maybe it's coming due next year and we want to negotiate it early because there's some things that we can do. So some of the bigger things like rental agreements and long-term agreements are always a little bit longer to adjust. But some of the little things of doing is look at your credit card statement. What kind of subscriptions are you been paying for that you don't go to, like the gym? I go to the gym every day, but some of those things that we don't realize we're paying for that we shouldn't be paying for. And one of the ways of looking at your costs are, does it get me a customer? Does it keep a customer? Or does it increase the lifetime value of a customer? And if you can check all three boxes, then you can keep that expense. If it doesn't check these boxes, then you probably want to evaluate, do I need to keep that expense or should I kick it to the curb even for just a little while? It'll give you more of your own money back in your right pocket instead of taking it out of your left pocket.
Marcia, when did you become so knowledgeable? How did you become the profit booster?
I'm just so great. I just woke up like this morning and here I am. No, I've invested probably $250,000 in my own education, and investing in coaches and consulting and workshops and traditional education, and then the hard knocks of life, right? Experience working with clients. Did this work? Yeah, that worked. Okay, so let's try that with my next guy, right? It's just investing. I'm a lifelong learner, so I find tricks and things, and I put them into my bag, and when I pull them out, they help other people.
Marcia, we love the fact that you cross the T's, dot the I's. You try to save us pennies here and there, but at the end of the day, we're in business, and the goal of business is to sell, right? So we have this adage
to bring in a customer and make a profit.
Yes, and sometimes sales cures all ails. Sometimes. So walk us through a couple of tricks that you implement. And I love the fact that you use the word lever, because a lever, by definition, is a huge result by a very small exertion. So I love that. But tell us how you expand business by geographic expansion or different product lines, or maybe, God forbid, the implementation of some high founded technology.
Wow. Okay, you just knocked off 3 really great ideas on what you can do. But you know what? It's really coming in and going, what does my customer want? And I told you some of the strategies I use are not sexy, as much as I'd love to go chase the AIs and the technologies and all these great things, but it's kind of looking at the foundation. So when we look at what does our customer logically need next, if we provide A, Well, A solved A's problem, but it's also created problem B, C, and D. So, what could we add to our portfolio that could solve the next logical problem that that customer has? Right? We don't want to go in and say, "Hey, we're going to sell you the house," when all they need is a new faucet. But the new faucet now says, "Oh, well, maybe I need to paint inside now. Ooh, wait a minute. Now that I painted inside, I probably need some new furniture. Ooh, well, now that I have new furniture, that carpet looks terrible. And I probably want to put that hardwood floor in now." So you want to think about what the next logical step is in your customer's mind. What do they need next? And that's usually the opportunity for us to expand and grow. And expansion is either, as you said, a new product, a new market, a new customer area, right, that we're going into. But it's always kind of looking at, what does our customer want?
Expansion, growth. Everybody wants that, right? I want to
Uh-huh.
expand, I want to grow. You can't do it at all costs. And what we find is we see a lot of small businesses run into this trap of they're not paying themselves first. There's no profit in the business. It's going out the door, and their growth rate is actually strangling the business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great conversation, growth at all costs, because that's not what it should be. Growth does not mean market domination, right? Growth does not mean aligning yourself with Amazon and taking over the world. Growth means incremental increases each year. So managing that growth in a way that you could support it, right? So I think of growth and scaling as a Christmas tree. You grow and then you have to scale to support that growth. Then you grow again, then you have to scale to support that. And if you do it in a safe speed, I guess would be the thing, then you're able to keep up with it and you're not killing yourself. Paying yourself first. I mean, come on, we all, went into business to be, have the lowest paying job with the worst boss ourselves and being the worst employee ourselves, right? We came in for the freedom and lifestyle that we wanted with that money that we wanted. And so we have to manage the business and pay our best employee first. And so when we look at that growth, we have to do it incrementally, right? We have to do it in managed ways and ways that can still support the engine, the people and us in a way that can do it. And we want to make sure our investors understand that we grow at an appropriate rate, right? 30% every year is probably not very, sustainable.
Matt, is it me or does Marcia Riner speak the lingo of a former financial planner?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's numbers everywhere. Whether it's investment numbers, and we are investing in our biggest asset we have, or it's the numbers that make the engine work, right? And the data that we have. If you just understand the data, you can make really good decisions. And that's kind of where I evolved and developed into, is understanding the data that, we can tweak and pull to make a better company. So
But
that you can have it later on.
But it's a wonderful evolution, because what you did is you applied the skill set of applying financial planning to an individual to a small business. And that's what you do on a daily basis.
Absolutely. I love it. It really is, because, we don't put all our money into our retirement plans, right? We put it all as business owners into our business. So how do we make that asset something worthwhile later on? By making a really great company now that's easy to run and make it sale ready so that someone would be interested in buying it when you want to get out.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's 80% or even higher. A small business owner's net worth is in their business, right?
Exactly.
So how can they unlock the value? Because there's no liquidity there. It's not a stock, right? It's not a piece of real estate that you can just really go and sell. It's a lot easier to sell real estate than a business.
Exactly.
I think most people don't realize this, but only 20 to 30% of all businesses that get listed actually sell.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for it is they don't have the enterprise value. And yeah, their top line numbers were growing. They were eating out of the business. Things were great, but that's not what an investor wants to see. when they're
Nope.
coming in to buy it. They want to make sure that stabilization in there, right? Long-term contracts. And I think when they start thinking differently about the type of growth that comes in, right? And not growing at all costs, that's when things change. Because if you have long-term contracts with a client and you have a client that's bringing you in $100,000 a year, but you're getting a 5 multiple upon exit, right? It's not $100,000 account. It's a $500,000 account if you're looking to exit and you tie them up. And I
Yeah.
think, a lot of small business owners really need to start thinking that way instead of just how much money can I bring home and how much do I not have to pay in taxes.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I work. When I first got into the business, I was talking more about the sales side. And my answer, when I talk to a potential client is they go, well, I don't want to sell right now. I'm trying to grow my business. Well, great. That's why we want to talk, right? And so I kind of switched it around throughout the years to let's grow your business so that it can be sold in the future. And by doing that, you're creating a business that multiple buyers would be interested in, a business that doesn't involve you swinging the hammer every day, and you can take a 3-week vacation and the business still runs, right? And it has those contracts, and it has the sustainability that any investor, whether they're looking for your client base, your product base, or the business to run it, that it can be transferred later on, rather than just like both of my parents. They ended up closing their doors and leaving tons of money on the table. My mom at one time in the late 80s had an offer for $1 million for her 8 branches of a mortgage company. She was like one of the early pioneers in offsite processing, since you guys know real estate, right? And companies came to her and said, Rose, how are you doing this? And one company offered her $1 million for her company. And she said, I'm not ready to retire yet. No, I'll pass. She thought she was going to hand it to me.
You mean in the time of filing
2010?
cabinets? In
Huh?
the time of filing cabinets, your mom was processing off-site?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And yeah, 2008, 2010 happened. She ended up closing her doors with a copier and a bunch of desks.
Yeah, I think you don't have to sell the company today, but you want to be ready if somebody comes with the right offer.
Well, just because you sell it doesn't mean you're done and you're going to go find a rocking chair either. They could have kept her on for another year or two to manage and handle the transition. Then she could have done other stuff.
Marcia, come sit on our psychoanalysis sofa. Now we see what the what these green shoots came from. But you know what I love? It's not enough that you're working with clients and obviously you're providing huge value. You're actually paying it forward when you started your podcast several years ago. So you've got a wildly successful Profit with a Plan podcast. Tell us a little bit about that brainchild, because Lord knows you don't make money doing podcasts. It really is a pay it forward scenario.
It is. I love it. I have gotten so much ideas. I've built great friendships. I've gotten business partners and deals out of it. Profit with a Plan started 5 years ago with these really horrific, me standing in front of a camera trying to act really sexy and savvy, right? To it bringing people on and having really in-depth conversations about increasing revenue, driving growth, and preparing for your future sale. And I mean, I've gotten some of the greatest people on, some big stars, some no names, and it's just been a labor of love for me to come on, and I produce it and throw it out every Tuesday. And it's been a lot of fun. It really has. And it's just like yours, you meet really great people.
Yeah, we had the benefit of meeting some amazing people on here too. We do it just because, we like meeting great people, and we can't work with everybody. So we try to help everybody out and bring our network to them via the podcast.
Well, it's also a way of sharing your expert status, right?
Yeah.
And by bringing on guests, you benefit from their expert status as well. And the audience gets a chance to experience you and the way you think and the ideas you come up with in their jammies late at night when they're not feeling being sold to. So it's also a fantastic marketing tool.
I'll take it a step further, Marcia. I think entrepreneurs and small business owners are stubborn to a asset. I don't think it's a fault. I think what makes us so tenacious is part of our stubbornness. But part of our stubbornness is our reluctance to listen to anyone else. But we will learn from people's mistakes. So by hearing other tales of woe and other diatribes, that entrepreneur will learn. So by listening to you and some of your 30-day booster tactics and some of your levers, hopefully they apply it to their businesses and we all benefit.
Absolutely. You know what? I have a philosophy that, if I give you my best and juiciest ideas, 95% of you aren't going to be able to implement that on your own. And those 5 that can, hey, right on, go do it. Thank you. I'm glad you took my idea and ran with it. But for those 95%ers, hey, there's somebody here that can help you put that into work. If you want to talk, let's talk, kind of thing.
Matt's going to kill me for saying this, but I always say that the executive chef will always give you his recipes because it's not the ingredients that make the meal, it's the execution. So ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. This is fun, guys. I love talking to you guys. So you guys we're in the same boat, right? We're talking the same language to our audience and our customers, and I just love it when these conversations gel like this.
Just Matthew's less sexy and savvy.
Hey, Marcia, so you started out in financial planning, right? You started the profit booster profit tongue twister. What's going on here?
That's okay. Infinite Profit's my company.
Infinite Profit, right? You have the Profit Booster program. You're running the podcast. What's next? Because I know you're not stopping there.
So I've got 3 books already that I have. That the first one I just created. It was so funny. I tried to jokingly trademark the idea. Income minus expenses equals profits. So I created my book, Big Profit Secrets. Big Profit Secrets. Like nobody knew that stuff before, right? Then I have 2 other books around a lot of the strategies that I implement and some stories and clients behind them. But my new book I have coming, I'm actually going to work with those levers. I've got 10 levers that I pull, and I think I'm going to call it Profit Levers. So it's being formatted and writing. Now, I got to tell you, I make millions of dollars not on my books. But my books are, again, educational, and it gives me that expert status that I know what I'm talking about, and the audience can kind of look through and know, hey, yeah, I like what she says. Maybe I want to come and have a conversation with her.
Yeah, the books are like the new business card these days.
They are. They are. And they're so, self-published. I don't pay somebody to go through if there's typos and, grammar mistakes and stuff. But you know what? They're me. I don't speak, perfectly. So
I love it.
My typo.
Neither do our clients though either, right?
Yeah. We're not real people. We work with humans.
Exactly.
Right? That's why this AI stuff is so cool. If you train it properly, you can actually get it to talk and sound like you, not the physical video stuff, but the words that it can produce. So it doesn't say, what's one of the words I ask it not to do? A treasure trove of, I could totally pick the AI works out, but it helps us.
Marcia, if we could put together a DeLorean that goes back in time, what sort of levers would you have implemented in your mother's business 30, 40 years ago?
Yes. Time machines. I'm looking for a vampire, though, so I can stay around forever. But going backwards is also really good. Okay, so going back, what would I have done? First of all, I would have shooken my mom and said, take the damn money, right? And I think she was really smart. Her and her partner, she ran the office and the company and the team and everything. And her partner would go out and find new business and stuff like that. So what I would implement in her business was being able to see opportunities, from different angles, right? She was really good. This was when rate sheets came out in a fax machine every morning, and we had, 30 or 40 clipboards to see who had the best rates for it. So finding a way to make that technical and speed the process. But I think just looking at your business from a different way, take money off the table when you have the chance, please. Whether it's you're paying yourself better, paying your employees better, and just taking those opportunities. Don't be afraid. We're business owners. We're supposed to take risk, some risk, measured risks.
Sometimes. We're entrepreneurs.
Sometimes, 80% of the time.
Meaning of risk. It depends on who you ask. You ask me to take a risk, or you ask Luigi to take a risk. I think you probably get the same answer with us. If you ask my wife,
just minus the NFTs.
Crypto, it's like, oh my gosh.
Matt was never able to convince me to invest in a little cartoon gorilla. I never went for it. I don't know why.
How'd that go for you, Matt? Did you make a lot of money on it?
Jury's still out. I'll let you know.
His daughter's going to be on a podcast 30 years from now and say, Dad, you should have sold that gorilla.
Yeah, right.
So why don't you tell the audience where everybody can find you, Marcia?
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. So I'm everywhere on social at Marcia Riner, and that's Riner. I'm always talking about business growth somewhere in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a blog or the podcast or, posts or training tips and stuff. So you can always find me there, or you can go to my company, which is infiniteprofitconsulting.com. And you can find my books. You can find the podcast blogs. You can find opportunities, trainings, all sorts of good stuff.
And by the way, follow Marcia Riner on LinkedIn, because she is posting pearls of wisdom on a daily basis.
Thank you.
I love it. Marcia, one question before I let you run. What is the biggest pet peeve that you always see consistently when working with a business owner?
It's the exchange of I want to I do. So they say, I want growth. I want to make more money. I want more customers. But when it comes to doing, they're like, I don't have time for that. Or, oh, I'm doing this. Or, oh, I'm doing that. Right. So one of the greatest things that a business owner can do is take, even if it's 2 hours a week, and I have it on my calendar as 2 hours a week, every Friday afternoon, to look at business growth. Find time to work on your business instead of in your business. And when you take that time, and you even allow your employees to take that time to work on their processes and to work on their strategies and ideas to help your company grow, when you all do that, your company gets better.
Marcia, thank you so much for being here. We loved this episode. Hopefully we'll have you back soon again. Everybody, that's a wrap at the Liquid Lunch Project. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to the show. And make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.